So good morning, my 8th graders. Miss James here. I wanted to go ahead and make a video for our class today because I wanted to guide you guys a little bit more. I do like Zoom. We're going to keep using Zoom. Just sometimes when I really want to teach you a little bit more in depth, I would like you guys to watch this video to help you with your writing, okay? The vocabulary sentences, before we get started with our writing for today. Your vocabulary sentences were due at midnight tonight. Remember, you guys have until October the 1st. After October the 1st, I'm not taking any late work. So make sure you get those vocabulary sentences in as soon as possible, okay? They were due last night, so please work on them. I'm still missing about 10 of you, looks like. So for today, you guys are working on your plot map that is due tomorrow at midnight. But as we're gearing towards moving your plot map into a rough draft, which is what many of you have said, Miss James, I already did my rough draft, I'm good to go. I am challenging you to look at your rough draft and not fix it, but try to make it a little bit more appealing to your reader, okay? So this is something that I have used with my middle schoolers and high schoolers for several years now. It's called optic strategy. It's when you're going to use your five senses to improve your writing, okay? So your five senses obviously are your touch, your taste, smell, what you hear, and what you see, okay? When you are going to be a writer, whether you're going to be a professional writer, whether you are going to write for middle school or high school or a college student, you don't want to say something like he went to the store, because we can see that, but we can't feel it, right? We can't feel that. So you might want to change it to something like, you know, while he was while he was walking, he could feel the leaves underneath. He could feel the leaves crunch underneath his boots, and he knew that it was almost fall, right? Instead of saying he went to get something to eat, you're gonna say something like, he could smell the donut shop all the way from his house. He could smell the donuts baking all the way from his house. So you want to make your reader feel exactly what you're feeling, because we want to experience that too. Okay. So your job for today, I'm going to go through this one, right? In your narrative, you need to make your reader feel what you are feeling and see what you're seeing. I could smell the rain without seeing it. Then all of a sudden it started to pour. If you're going to write like that, I'm going to feel so much more connected to what you're writing because I can feel it too. I could still feel that last hug 20 years later. Well, guess what? Your reader can too. And this is what people in TV and people in movies, and they they hook you into their show and their movie because that they know exactly what it takes to they use your five senses. They're using imagery. Okay, this is all about optic strategy and imagery. Okay, I can still feel that hug. We can too. Your reader is so wanting to be connected to your writing and to you as a person. The taste of that first sip of coffee, right? So I want you guys in your writing, if you think you're done, I want you to go back and, I don't want you to take this as, my writing's not good enough. That's not true. Your writing can always be better. Even people who have a PhD in writing, they're always thinking, how can I make this just a little bit better, right? Because your writing is not about you. Your writing is about, you know, what you write will hopefully reach your audience and reach your reader in their heart, okay? So remember, everything that you write is not a personal attack. It's just, um, we write for other people. We we give to other people, okay? If you choose to write a story or narrative about a hero going after a goal, which is what many of you are doing, we still want to feel what he's feeling, right? In a way, we step into his skin and fight his battles with him. So if you're watching, Endgame, if you're watching anything where a hero has to overcome struggles to get what they want, we kind of become that character too. because of our imagery and our senses, our five senses. If you choose to write a personal narrative, we need to feel like how you're feeling. So connecting with your reader is going to be so important. Okay. So for today, guys, this will be a little bit of a longer video, but I really want you to understand this. I have all of these pictures on here, and I chose all of them because they are supposed to appeal to your senses. They're supposed to make you, feel or see something. They kind of, like, for instance, that turkey might make you feel like, connected to your family, good times, everyone's happy. Um, in this photo, they may not be having a lot of pain or going through hard times. It might just be a great time they can remember. You can even smell the turkey. All of these images. There's a reason why these photographs are so incredibly, long lasting and people love them. This one is from the Great Depression. This is a mother that you guys are going to investigate with her children. Obviously, she has that look of, well, I have to stay strong, right? I have to stay strong through these hard times for my kids. You have all of these. These are all going to naturally make you feel something. You can smell, you can taste something, you can hear something. He might be sitting on the side of the street, but in your mind, you might hear like traffic going by. So this one, I chose that one for a very specific reason. That one is probably going to be, in our society, we don't think of men as people who would actually cry, but I think you would be surprised. This one. So I don't know about you, but that kind of, I can feel water on my skin. I can taste water. I can see water, right? That's what I want you guys to do. These are all very specific. I chose the stars. I chose a young boy. This is a Norman Rockwell painting. If you don't know who Norman Rockwell is, you definitely will by the end of my class this year. Couple more. Super cute, right? Super cute. There's an otter. Oh my goodness. They're so adorable in the water until you try to get one of their babies. They're just angry. All right, so your job for today, you all have this. I'm going to put this on Google Classroom. Make sure you guys finish this entire video because I want you to know what to do. A lot of you are like emailing me, Miss James, I don't understand what you mean. So if I can make a video like this to answer all of your questions, then not only will my emails go down, but your confusion will also go down, which is really my main focus, is to make sure you guys know exactly what to do, okay? So remember, optic strategy is when you're going to use your senses to improve your writing. A lot of people would call this imagery. I like to think of it as of images in your mind, right? But I've given you actual images. On here, I want you guys to choose 3 of the pictures that kind of appeal to you. And you like them because they appeal to your 5 senses. There's really no way around it. You're a human being, right? You have your own connection to photographs and art and people and TV shows and, actors and celebrities and animals. And this is so important to our unit on who you are and who you become. And because in order for you guys to become who you want to become, you need to know who you are, right? You need to know what kind of makes you you. So just by choosing these 3 pictures, you're not only telling me more of who you are, but you're also telling yourself more of who you are. So you like them because they appeal to your 5 senses. You're going to do the same thing with your writing. How do these pictures make you feel? What do they do to appeal to our emotions? What does this one do? So emotions don't have to just be, crying and sadness. Emotions could be like a longing for something delicious, or, I'm hungry. Some people in the world might not have enough food, right? So something like this might seem like a luxury. Just to, even in my own life, when I was in college, it just seemed like, I had two young sons. Food wasn't always easy to come by. And so something like at that point in my life, this would have been a luxury, right? Even now, I don't always go and get donuts. It's kind of a so if I can look at this picture, right, and I can have it use my imagery and my five senses, I could even smell these donuts without buying them. I wonder if you can also. So you want to do this for your reader, okay? Um, I hope you guys are getting this a little bit. I don't want you to be lost, okay? So for instance, if you're going to use your five senses in your writing, you might write me a whole narrative, and you're going to turn in that plot map by midnight tomorrow, okay? You might write a whole narrative about how, that one time, a big event in your life was that the last time you saw your grandma, you guys went to the beach together. Or, all the greatest family times you can think of happened at the beach. So you might use, for instance, I think you guys can and I can too, just by looking at this photograph. I can connect with this just as if someone were writing me, a book. Just as if someone had just painted me a photograph or anything. I mean, you can kind of feel your feet in the sand. You could touch the water. It's going to be probably freezing cold, right? You can smell the ocean air as soon as you drive into town. You could taste the snacks that you brought with you. Okay, so that is what I want you guys to be thinking of, is how can I change my writing from something, very minimal with no feeling, with no feeling, into something that your writer is going to be so connected with. And that's what you want, guys. You don't write for you, you write for other people, okay? You write for their reading enjoyment, okay? So you're going to go through here, you're going to pick 3 of these. I want you guys to, well, in my class, I usually say we flood our box. I want you guys to write as much as you possibly can on here, okay? The more you write, the better your grade. This is not like, this is not like Circa. This is not, for instance, where you're going to be writing me an essay or a paragraph. This is just, kind of answer my questions, but which ones appeal to you and why, and how they make you feel, okay? This one might have a completely different experience on you or different emotion on you than this one, and that's okay. So that is your first goal for today. I hope this is helpful. So your optic strategy is already there. You're going to go through this entire presentation. You're going to pick 3 of them, and then you're going to tell me why. And when you guys are putting together your narrative next week, you can turn to this and say, okay, I started out telling in my narrative how I walked down the street and, so you're going to actually give us a little bit more descriptive details. That is going to make your narrative really stand out, and you can hold on to this for your future, okay? So remember, we want to feel exactly what you're feeling as your reader when you're the writer. The other thing I want you guys to do for our class today is make sure, even now, all these weeks later, I still have people who haven't turned in their Common Lit assessment and their Think Circa. If you know who you are, I have emailed you, you know who you are, so please do that today. On Google Classroom, right here, you guys know your narrative plot map is due, and then the one for your TV show or your movie is due Monday. So make sure you're working on that. I gave you the weekend because I